Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, I'm back with some quick news for the boxing and MMA world. Claressa Shields, she's ready to take that leap into the world of mixed martial arts. She signs on a deal with PFL for some non-tournament fights in the lightweight division. So Shields, she'll be making her MMA debut next year in the 2021 season of PFL. Now, for the mixed martial arts fans who don't know Claressa Shields, if you're not familiar with her career, you know, she's a two-time gold medalist in boxing. And she's a 3-division world champion in boxing. She was undisputed at 160. She's unified at 154 and 168. And her last fight out was back in January against Wmma at 154. And since then, you know, the boxing world's been kind of slow, of course, because of the pandemic and the lack of competition for Claressa Shields. So, you know, she's been talking about jumping into the world of mixed martial arts. You know, she's posted up on her IG of her learning how to throw kicks. And, you know, she's also spoke of trying to get a black belt. And, you know, she's even called out Amanda Nunes and went to one of Amanda Nunes' fights to actually watch her and see her fight, you know. So I think that this is something that Claressa Shields is definitely taking seriously. As you can see, you know, she signed on to PFL. You know, even in the past, I knew this was some type of transition that she wanted to make. But now that, you know, there's a lack of competition and lack of events for women in boxing, you know, she's finding this to be that perfect time to take a stab at mixed martial arts. And my thoughts as a boxing fan, you know, hardcore boxing fan. I know Claressa Shields, you know, not personally, but, you know, just following her career, seeing all of her fights and just how she trains and how she calls people out and how she's always there to take the challenge. I think that she is ready to learn. You know, I think that she is ready to learn and that her mind state is ready for the sport. You know, it's still growing, of course, but I think she definitely has a mind frame that's not doing this for clout chasing or for money. You know, she actually wants to pick up and accomplish something in another sport and, you know, challenge herself, because that's the type of fighter she is. You know, she's challenged herself in boxing, you know, from 154 to 168, and she's tried her best to become undisputed in all the divisions. You know, 160, but, you know, 168 she unified there too as well. So as a boxing fan, I know that she definitely wants to challenge herself. But as an MMA fan, I've seen so many boxers, you know, try to make that transition to MMA, and they fail. And most of the times they fail because they're not really focused on becoming a well-rounded fighter. And when you go to MMA, you know, this is one of the combat sports where it requires everything. You just can't go in there off of one discipline. You know, you have to put what you know about one discipline out the door. Like, you can still keep the foundations, of course, the basic foundations of that sport, but you really have to be ready to grow and be humble. You know, I interviewed some MMA fighters, and they always say, you know, if you're from one discipline, you really have to humble yourself to be submitted and take beat downs and take ass whoopings in these other disciplines whenever it's your first time learning them. You know, I've heard of former boxers, you know, and they told me they go to like BJJ, they got submitted so many times because, you know, they weren't used to it. But, you know, it was kind of bruising on their ego. But at the same time, they knew they had to humble themselves and learn that discipline to become a well-rounded fighter. And when I say a well-rounded fighter, like I always say, that doesn't mean you have to be the best in each discipline. Like, you have to be the best Muay Thai artist, the best boxer, the best wrestler, grappler. No, like, you just need to have the foundations of each of those sports. Like, you could be known as a striker, a wrestler, or a grappler, but you still need to have a good jab. You still need to have solid takedown defense. You know, you need to know how to fight in clinches. So all of that is needed to be a well-rounded fighter. You know, you need a solid understanding in every discipline to even be able to challenge some of the best fighters in MMA in the top 15, and let's say if you're in the UFC. Like Claressa Shields, to even compete against the top 15 and beat, let's say, 15 through 10, you need to have the solid foundation in every single one of these sports, you know, as far as being a BJJ artist and being able to get out of submissions. You need to have a foundation on all of these to even think about competing against the best in the top 15 in like Bellator or the UFC. So with that, it's definitely going to take years for Claressa to really get a solid foundation, even in wrestling. And like it's been said, you know, to even get like a blue or purple belt takes decades sometimes for some people. You know, it takes forever for these people to get like a blue or purple or brown belt. So for her to think she can get a black belt, ooh, that's going to be tough. You know, that's going to be a challenge. So she can't go in there with the mind state thinking you can get a black belt in 2 years. You know, so hopefully Shields is working with a team that can prepare her for what's to come, especially in a high organization like PFL. Like, I'm still wondering, like, for PFL, what's their angle as far as the business move here? You know, are they going to give her the right fights that can build her up, or are they just going to try to throw her in there with the Lions? You know, I don't know, because the competition level at PFL may not be like the UFC or Bellator, but this lightweight division still has ladies that could pack a punch. Or now I know the competition level in PFL is not like the UFC or Bellator, but this lightweight division still packs a lot of ladies that could pack a punch. There's solid grapplers and wrestlers that could give a first timer work. You know, they'll work them over. So Claressa Shields, she definitely has to be moved right, especially signing with PFL, because there's some solid experienced fighters in the PFL. You know, that's why I was wondering why, you know, Claressa didn't even, you know, consider taking any like amateur fights, because it would have been nice for her to take some amateur fights, you know, maybe like 2 or 3 at the same time, you know, do some like grappling tournaments, because I think that would have been solid buildup, you know, going to like these grappling tournaments where Danielle Kelly goes, you know, performs at, Roxanne Modafferi, you know, all of these MMA fighters, they do that in their downtime. You know, not too far from where I live, you know, Hannah Cyphers, you know, she was at some tournaments with Miranda Maverick as well. So, you know, that's like good work for them on the side, you know, to compete in these tournaments and, you know, really get to get better and better at their BJJ skills. So that would have been nice for Claressa Shields to do. I mean, it's not too late. I mean, as far as the amateur it is, but as far as going into like the BJJ tournaments, the grappling tournaments, she could still do that to, you know, build up her skill in that field. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a big challenge for her. You know, like I said, and being in the PFL alongside fighters like Kayla Harrison, that's also a good example for her to see that Kayla Harrison is a fighter to me that's graduated from the level of the fighters she's been fighting in PFL as far as, you know, winning the tournament. But even Kayla Harrison, like I got a video coming about her. I feel like she still has a lot of work to do with her skill set. You know, she still has a lot of work to do with her skill set before she goes off thinking about fighting Amanda Nunes or even Chris Cyborg. So for her, you know, she just needs to take it slow as well, you know, for the point she's at before she can invade like the featherweight division and beat a Chris Cyborg. But for Claressa, you know, coming in here, making her debut at PFL, I hope that, you know, she's ready for this challenge. You know, like I said, I'm wishing her the best. And, you know, I want to see her succeed in this sport, but, you know, she definitely has to make the right moves, because this isn't boxing. You know, boxing's a tough sport as is, but, you know, when you go into that world of mixed martial arts, man, we just think about the possibilities of being taken down for a boxer and, you know, eating those leg kicks and being able to fight into the clinch and fight off your back. All of that, all of those grounds need to be covered for Claressa Shields, because she has to remember, too, a lot of people are going to be coming for her head, especially some of these early fighters in the PFL. Just because they want to build their name up and, you know, get that reputation, they're going to be attacking. You know, they're really going to be going for a head, I think, in these fights. So, yeah, hopefully Claressa Shields is doing the right thing, you know, as far as behind the scenes, you know, getting prepared. And, yeah, definitely would like to see her in some BJJ tournaments working out there, and definitely want to see her working on her wrestling more on her IG. You know that now that she's in that MMA world, you know, I love watching her train with boxing. I want to see that type of stuff on her IG from here now, man. So, yeah, shout out to Claressa for doing this. But, you know, make those right moves. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.